No, no, no. Why? No, no, no. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cartoon Breakdown. I'm your host, the Animator. I'm not gonna lie to you. South Park isn't exactly one of those shows that I go out of my way to see on a regular basis. This wasn't always the way, and I remember as a teenager I was chomping it to bits to actually see one of the episodes as I didn't have cable as it was on Comedy Central. I remember sitting out on the side of the AM/PM on the corner of where my school was right behind it. I was hanging out with my friends and they loved talking about the show. Eventually, we got cable at our place and I was able to watch the show on a regular basis. I loved watching how messed up the humor could be, and it was fun for me as, between Spawn, Spicy City, and South Park, I was figuring out cartoons weren't just for kids anymore. As time went on, South Park was the only show left for adults that I could watch. I remember the episode that had me change my mind about South Park and why I no longer watched the show. It was an episode where Cartman had tricked a kid into eating his parents in chili, and as the kid was crying, Cartman was licking up the tears. I felt that it was a little too mean-spirited, and South Park had gone over the line. But it wasn't the last time they would go over the line. South Park's origin had a little more depth than what I had let on in my episode of Spicy City. In fact, Matt Stone and Trey Parker met in a film class in the University of Colorado in 1992. They would often discuss things that they liked and found that they both loved Monty Python. This is where they got the idea and their inspiration for their animated short, Spirit of Christmas. The short was created using construction paper and glue as well as stop motion. Many of the things that we see in South Park were created in the short, such as Eric Cartman, although he was called Kenny, and there was a character that looked a lot like Kenny but he didn't have a name, and of course two identical characters named Stan and Kyle. In the short, the kids created a snowman, and when they found a top hat, they put it on top. Much like the original Frosty the Snowman story, the snowman came to life. However, it wasn't exactly nice and immediately started killing people, including Cartman, who was named Kenny at the time. Jesus had to come in and stop the snowman from killing everyone and saving the children from a gruesome death. Brian Garden, a Fox Network executive and mutual friend of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, saw the short and commissioned them to create another one so that he could copy it and distribute it over the internet in emails. The two created a Christmas e-card also titled The Spirit of Christmas, which depicted Jesus and Santa versing each other as to who had the rights over Christmas. In fact, in order to distinguish the two, the first short was called Jesus vs. Frosty, and the second one was called Jesus vs. Santa. Jesus vs. Santa was well received and became extremely popular and was one of the first viral videos to ever hit the internet. As the short became more popular, Parker and Stone began to talk about creating a television show based off of the characters. Fox refused to pick up the show, and the two went on to talk with MTV and Comedy Central. However, Parker preferred the show to be produced by Comedy Central as he felt MTV would turn South Park into a kids show. I don't know what he was thinking. Did he not see Beavis and Butthead? Doug Herzog, after watching the short, commissioned Matt Stone and Trey Parker to develop the short into a show for Comedy Central. However, after showing the show to test audiences, Comedy Central was worried that the show wasn't going to do very well, as the test audience didn't like what they saw. But in the end, they agreed to let South Park air the first 6 episodes, with the debut episode Cartman gets an anal probe, and the show's been running ever since. Production on the show is relatively fast, with the exception of the pilot episode, which, much like the original 2 shorts, was created using papier-mâché cutouts, glue, and stop motion, and it took 3 months to complete. After the initial pilot, they started using a program by scanning the cardboard cutouts and redrawing them in CorelDRAW, then importing them into Power Animator, where they were able to utilize render farms that allowed them to get at least 10 to 15 shots an hour rendered. At first, they were able to generate an episode in about 3 weeks during the first season, but when they upped the staff to about 70 people, they were able to bring that number down to 1 week per episode. As a result, South Park is able to stay relevant and keep up with political satire and news within days of it happening. For example, when Saddam Hussein was found in his spider hole, South Park aired an episode entitled Christmas in Canada, which had a reference to it in mere days after the event took place. After Season 5, they utilized a 3D program called Maya to get the episodes out at a much faster pace. In fact, the episodes have been completed with only hours to air on Comedy Central, and Matt Stone and Trey Parker have both stated they like having the quick-paced work ethic as it keeps them on their toes and keeps the show relevant and funny. They've never missed an episode deadline until October 16, 2013, when a power outage caused them to miss the deadline. The episode was later rescheduled to air October 23, 2013. Now, South Park is not without its controversy, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about a few of them here on my show. Some of the controversies include the 5th season episode, It Hits the Fan, where the S-word is used multiple times without being bleeped. Comedy Central received over 5,000 disapproving emails. Another controversy was in Season 9's episode, Trapped in the Closet, which took aim at Scientology, and the episode depicted Tom Cruise as being a closeted gay. Tom Cruise went on to demand that further reruns of the episode be canceled. As a result of this episode, they lost their voice actor, Isaac Hayes, who did the voice of Shift, as he was a Scientologist and had objected to the episode being made. Another bit of controversy was in the 14th season episode 200 and 201. The episode depicted the Islamic prophet Muhammad. There were many groups that spoke out against the episode, as depicting the prophet Muhammad was a sacrilege in their religion. Now, for the voice cast, you have Matt Stone and Trey Parker doing the voices of most of the characters on the show, which includes the 4 children. You have Mona Marshall as the voice of Sheila Broflovsky and Linda Stotch, and of course there's April Stewart doing other voices on the show, most notably Wendy Tessaberger, which is Stan's love interest on the show. Since the show's debut, August 13, 1997, the show's been running on Comedy Central on a regular basis. It's now in its 21st season and has been renewed as of the upload of this episode till season 23, which it will have 304 episodes in total. There was a movie of the show in theaters entitled South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut in 1991. I even remember the movie made it into the Guinness Book of World Records as having the most curse words in a movie, at least until Samuel L. Jackson started getting big. As for watching the show nowadays, you can utilize YouTube and Google Play for $2 an episode. You can also find the DVDs readily available on Amazon, so you have an option as to where you can go to watch the show if you want to. The series is still on Comedy Central, and I doubt we're going to be seeing an end to it in much the same way as The Simpsons. Now, as I've stated in the beginning of the episode, I'm not very fond of the show, and I don't want people to get the impression that I'm trying to tell them that it's a horrible show. By all means, if you can watch the show and get enjoyment out of it, that's good. I know it's a passion project for both Matt Stone and Trey Parker, in much the same way Cartoon Breakdown has been for me. Doing this show has been very fun, and I've been honing my skills in After Effects in order to do things that would make the show better, as well as benefiting people who are looking for a free source for where they can get motion backgrounds. As the holiday season is coming to a close, Christmas was yesterday, if you're watching the episode on the 26th when it was supposed to be uploaded, and the new year is just right around the corner. Right now, I'm celebrating the holidays with my family, as I'm pretty sure most of you are. At this particular moment, I would like to inform you all that I'm taking a 3-month break from uploading the show. That doesn't mean that I'm not working on Cartoon Breakdown. However, I will be working on the second half of Season 2 as I can. I will be coming back in March with new episodes, and with any luck, I will be able to upload new episodes every week all the way through till June. Now, the reason why I'm taking the break is that circumstances have come to me that I have to take a break from doing the show in order to keep myself financially sound. So I'm going to have to look for a means of getting money outside of YouTube, as it wasn't as fruitful as I was hoping. I know, what a shock. Now, that doesn't mean that things are going to be silent here on my channel. I will be doing other things and trying to upload as much as I can, which also includes motion backgrounds that you can download for whatever projects you have or are working on, as I want to have a library of free motion backgrounds for people to use that I don't have the luxury of having right now. Maybe in the future, when this channel starts to take off, I might be able to work on Cartoon Breakdown on a regular basis and make it my main focus, as I love to tell you the stories that haven't been told yet. With each episode, I find out something new that I hadn't before going in, and it's exciting for me to be able to tell you about it. Now, with all of this, I just have to say I hope you had a Merry Christmas, or a Happy Hanukkah, or whatever holiday you celebrate, and maybe next year might be better. As always, I'm the Animator, and this was Cartoon Breakdown, and I hope I will see you next year. How did I get here?